And we're back.
Hooray! Hopefully it's actually working this time. Oh my gosh, my hair really is a mess today.
Mine too.
I know. I'm sorry. Hey everybody, how are you doing?
Folks.
Good evening. Happy Star Trek Day.
Hey y'all.
It's Star Trek Day, so we're
Observe
all...
my manly torso plate.
No, that's Transformers Day.
There's a crossover.
Is there
I
a
own
Star Trek Transformers crossover?
it. Duh.
Do we own it?
Yeah.
Can you put it in front of me?
Yeah. Not right now, but I can.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess I should have suspected that.
Also Star Trek Green Lantern. And
There's definitely G.I. Joe Transformers crossovers.
There
And
were
Transformers
like 4.
My Little Pony crossovers.
two of them.
At least 2 of those.
And brilliantly...
G.I. Joe vs. Aliens. I remember that one. That was a great book.
Brilliantly, Russell T Davies had a verbal agreement to cross Doctor Who over with Enterprise. And he could never make it work.
The fool.
I have heard apocryphal stories that all he had was that it was an Enterprise episode which opens with Ace in captain's uniform in charge of the ship. Something goes a bit sideways. She goes into Archer's ready room to find the 7th Doctor with his feet up on a table drinking some tea with the TARDIS parked in the corner. Slumps down and goes, "Bloody hell, Professor, it's all going wrong." Smash cut to credits.
Yes!
And
shut up and take my money!
And he could never, he's really, I think actual quote is, "I could never come up with anything that lived up to that promise."
It's a hell of a promise, I gotta say. Now I'm seeing Ace and Tilly. That would be amazing!
That amount of caffeine is...
No, that's Pond flirting with Pond
Yes,
right
it
there.
is.
That's an awesome idea. Dear fanship community, you are welcome. Please link me on AO3.
That amount of caffeine is my best friend, so shush.
Have it. What? It's not have a blessed day.
It is. It's have a blessed day.
Is it have a... No.
It is.
It's enlightening or something like that. And just a little... She gives... Oh, I love Tilly. She's the best.
I adore the fact that Tilly is entirely without fucks.
Very much so. Should we introduce the stream?
Hello, welcome to the show. My name is Alistair.
My name is Marguerite.
And this is going to be fun.
Yes it is.
For the new people, I always find myself tempted to do that in Michael Ironside's voice. "This is for you new people.
Yeah.
Everyone fights.
No one quits.
By the way, for the record, in his 80s, could still get it.
Oh, Michael Ironsides could definitely get it.
The man looks like a sexy bear. It is amazing.
We seriously need one of those.
What a sexy bear.
Star Trek is the little black dress of fandom.
Yes, it fits everything. That's a beautiful turn of phrase.
What a lovely turn of phrase. Absolutely adore that. Thank you for that. Stream. This is what we do. Do the outline.
This is how we do it.
This is how we do it. Okay, fine. Go.
We
It's
do,
your job.
We do 3
I'm
things
here to look
across
cute.
the next 2 hours. You always do. That's the wonderful thing.
I love you very much.
I love you too. The first one is we do an opening monologue, which is usually provided by house band Nick Crowley, one of the best game journalists and best writers in the business. A man who, and I'm going to take a brief sidebar here. Today,
At least you signposted it this time.
Today did a very brave thing.
Yeah.
Nate is stepping down full-time from his job as a games journalist. He's still there 3 days a week, because much like retail, you may be done with video games, but video games are never quite done with you.
Right.
Basically, he has a lot of books to write. And everything I've read from Nate has been one of my favourite books. So this is really good news.
This is good news for everyone.
But this also means that at some point it's possible that the opening monologue stream may slow to a trickle, at which point we'll find something else.
Yes, but tonight's opening monologue is entitled "The Age of Empires 4 Devs on Bees, Cheats, and the John Wick of Medieval Cities." So we still have some very good material.
I'm very
ahead
excited.
Of us.
And yes, I think a sidebar counter might help.
I want a graphic. I want like the screen to go tangent or something like that. You know, I just think it would be fun.
Like that
Yeah,
meme of
bees, and then Jason Statham is doing a movie about
Okay, for
bees.
the record, I want to mention that she started this one.
I know, but that's because all the memes have started on Twitter about people like, "Oh, I've got a hostage, I've got a gun," and Jason Statham just flicks a bee at them and they sting you and the head explodes. The end, and he hope you got a buzz out of that.
I'm carrying a bee. It's one of the most deadly animals on earth. It cares so little for its life that it rips its own arse off when it stabs someone. Now ask yourself, where's my arse? You're welcome.
So we do an opening monologue.
So we do an opening monologue, and then the original plan was that we were going to interview Hannah Brankin of Rusty Quill.
Which was going to be lovely, because I was going to have like a fancy cocktail, and we were going to talk about what it's like to be executive woman in creative industries.
I was going to be in a box.
We had
the box.
We were literally thinking about putting Alistair in a little box in the corner with no sound. So, like, he wouldn't be able to talk, and he'd just probably be distracting you all voguing in the corner for the evening. But Hannah,
I could do that now, but, you know.
We still might.
The night is young.
I have skills. I have a very special set of skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. But Hannah is poorly. Yes. So we schedule with Hannah when we are able to do so.
The Girl Boss Power Hour will occur. God. I will be in a box.
Maybe it should happen over Christmas. We can like just bust out a plate of Christmas cookies and several things of eggnog, and that sounds really good. Come see
two of the most brilliant women in podcasting get drunk and dish.
Who? Oh gosh, I could like do a whole 12-hour marathon with that and just invite more people on. Oh,
what's in the box? Me, I am.
Yes, you're in the box. So no, we're gonna reschedule Hannah. We do have another guest coming this month. I think they've confirmed. I'm pretty sure they've confirmed. But we're going to have David Devereaux and Sarah. I always forget her last name. I apologize, Sarah.
I just think of her as the amazing Sarah.
The amazing Sarah. Amazing. Her and we're going to talk about what it's like to be in creative relationships. And
picture it kind of like that podcast Idris Elba and his wife do, just not quite so needy.
Yeah, that's a very polite way of putting that. Well done, well done. And that should be the last Wednesday of the month. I think it's the 29th of September. Don't quote me, math. I don't know.
Math hard.
So that'll be really fun. And then, so we're not going to have a guest. So instead, we are going to start...
Back to Scarlet Hollow, Mother Jeffers.
Episode 2 of Scarlet Hollow, The Revenge of Gretchen, which will be delightful. And then...
Thank you, Doc Ponter. Sarah
Grant. I was like, it's something short and punchy, and I always forget it.
Sarah is to filmmaking what David is to audio.
Yeah.
They have a, frankly, intimidating skill base. Also...
Yeah, she does like fitness blogging and short films and art films, and David likes to record rain sounds at the drop of a hat and does great stuff, and it's just like, oh, so that's what that looks like from the outside.
I mean, I'm not saying the vibe is going to look very familiar, but I'm not.
They're just going to have better accents than we are because they both live in Scotland, so.
When do you need it, sir?
Exactly. Yeah, okay, that's the other thing I'm going to warn you about. It is Star Trek Day, and we're doing accents. So there's going to be a whole lot of Scottish engineers going on, and there's pretty much nothing you can do about it. We didn't have time for my current televisual guilt. There's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. My current...
I wish it entered into the record. This is her second sidebar, Your Honours.
Sustained. Thank you. We're watching Scandal in the evenings because I've never seen it before, and he started it randomly, and I got 30 seconds into it and went, stop! Yes. Wait for me! So we're watching it now, but we didn't have time for that this evening because we had a whole lot going on, so instead, because it's Star Trek Day, we watched the best... Well, that's not true. They're all really good. We watched two of the best.
I think there's a strong case for them being two of the best.
Two of the best short treks. And if you don't know what the short treks were, they were little 5-10 minute interstitials. They're designed to like fill gaps or tell you more about characters, or like there's one that explains the setup event that leads to Star Trek Picard.
Yep.
But the two we watched tonight are one with Tilly, my all-time favorite, and a character who becomes very important in season 2 of Disco. And The Trouble with Edward.
If I was to say
if you are a Star Trek fan, you know that if you say The Trouble with, you know exactly what you're going to get.
If I say the name H. John Benjamin, some of you are going to go, dude. The rest of you are going to go, who? And allow me to explain. H. John Benjamin is the man whose voice I want. He is the voice of Archer. He is the voice of Bob from Bob's Burgers. He is, if you have been following Last Week Tonight, the voice of the Void in the final few weeks before John moved back into a studio.
Exactly.
The closest I can get to it is very low, and it doesn't have a tremendous amount of affect, and he's very kind of, okay.
Unless he's singing Danger Zone!
And it's him and Rosa Salazar as a newly promoted captain of this incredibly cute little science ship that he fucks all the way up.
With tribbles.
And
it's wonderful. And he stands there as the rest of the crew are evacuating this vessel as a literal tidal wave of tribbles is racing behind him. And he stands there and he yells, "I made the most important scientific discovery of you." And I don't remember what the rest of the line is because then he gets overwhelmed by a wave of tribbles.
It is magnificent.
It's glorious.
If there is one of all of them you should watch, it's Calypso. And my God, you should have tissues ready.
Okay, have tissues, and you might need a moment afterwards. Because not only is it incredibly poetic and wonderful and romantic and sweet, but it has a shirtless Aldous Hodge. So you got to prepare yourself for that.
They actually, and I will go to my grave convinced you went, could we do this? They actually have a moment where he tries on the standard uniform and is too buff for it.
So he rips the sleeves off. It's like...
Which just perfectly ties into that whole thing with Leverage Redemption of, so the nerdy hacker who stays at home benches 400 pounds these days. Okay.
Sweet.
Yes.
Nice.
Which brings us to our next sidebar, which is the final 8 episodes of Season 1 of Leverage Redemption, arriving October 8th, the week of my birthday. Thank you, production office.
Yes.
I didn't ask for this, but my God, I'm so grateful I have it.
On a side note, this is reminding me that Trek in the Park is a fan theater thing that exists in Seattle. Oh, that sounds delightful.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. We won't snap. Yes, okay, we're just going to have nothing but tangents this evening. I apologize.
Tangent.
What is the best Star Trek movie?
Star Trek 4.
This is a trick question. The answer is always Star Trek 4. What is the second best Star Trek movie?
It's Star Trek 4.
Galaxy Quest.
Ooh, left-hand swerve.
Galaxy Quest is the second best Star Trek movie.
The movie that Patrick Stewart watched came out and apparently called the producers and went, why didn't we make this?
Yes, right? Why didn't they make that? If you have not seen, what's the name of it?
Never Surrender.
Never Surrender, which is the documentary about the making of Galaxy Quest. First of all, pack tissues because Alan Rickman. But secondly, it is, it's just so delightful. It is so delightfully wonderful.
Even Tim Allen is likable in this thing.
Well, Alan Rickman can make anybody likable, but even Tim Allen is tolerable in this, and it is wonderful. It is the most wonderful Star Trek movie that we should have had and didn't. Okay, how many tangents has that been now? Hi, Hayden, how you doing?
You two for me, I think.
Okay, should we actually get on with this monologue?
Well, there is the small matter of my favorite episode of The West Wing.
Speaking of Star Trek,
okay,
I have to dig up the link because I didn't prepare our poor mods with this. Go.
So, about 4 months ago, I was contacted by the publisher who I was hired to write the Day of the Doctor book for. And they went, we're doing Star Trek. We'd like you to pitch something. And I said, great, what Star Trek are you doing? And he said, yes. So, I immediately pitched, I think, Star Trek 4, because it is the best movie. Galaxy Quest, I should have pitched, and honestly may do at some point.
Nothing else. I want to see what his reaction is to you selling Galaxy Quest as the best Star Trek movie.
The best episode of Upper Decks to date, because I had not yet seen the one where Boimler is cloned.
Oh God, the Easter eggs in that one alone are glorious.
And a disco episode called Through the Valley of Shadows.
Yes, Compost Witch, you must go look up Never Surrender. It is an absolutely wonderful documentary.
And he said yes to Through the Valley of Shadows. And it being me, I decided to hack the system so it was possible to win. Seemed thematically appropriate. Because the
Wrong captain, but that's okay. Right ship, wrong captain.
Because the interesting thing about that episode is that it actually sets up the endgame for the massive series-wide reboot that Disco hits 2 episodes later. And it does so in this incredibly elegant way, where it draws in threads from basically the entire season that's preceded it. And it's also an episode almost entirely about Chris Pike. And Pike is an utterly fascinating character, played by a man who is now Batman as well, by the way. Anson Mount has just been cast as Batman in the Injustice.
Nothing. I think they just released Injustice, and Anson Mount's voicing Batman. Which was a hell of a thing to realize when we're watching the trailer. I'm like, wait a minute!
But,
I know 4 bats, I'm sorry. We should just start calling the opening monologue Tangent Theater.
But basically, this episode is really important to Trek, to Discovery as a series, and Trek as a franchise. So I got my postmodern head on, and some of the things I invoke include the King James Bible, 16th century Renaissance poet who loved both flowers and sexy times, frequently at the same time. Oh, and death, Andrew Marvell, and the mighty, mighty boss tones.
Yes.
The book's very me.
It's very,
It's
very...
out in a couple of months.
And I'm going to put a link to it in the chat, so... All verse folks, hopefully this link will work. I apologize in advance if it doesn't. If it doesn't, we'll put it in the stream show notes, don't worry. But yes, today on Star Trek Day, All Verse folks announced their Golden Archive series of monographs on Star Trek topics, and ya boy here is rating about at least one.
Also, one of my colleagues is doing Spock's Brain, and I cannot fucking wait. If you are familiar with that episode, it is just 50 minutes of a hot mess. And Nick is a very clinical, very precise writer in the same way that I'm going.
You're talking about thoughts and feelings.
And just the thought of 30,000 words of Nick going, fuck this. Here's why. Or going, this is actually brilliant. Here's why. Fascinates me.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to read. I sent it to you, my mom, today.
Aww.
Who is the reason I am a Trekkie is because my mom was a Trekkie, and we used to go to Star Trek conventions together when I was a teenager.
Anson is absolutely fucking adorable. He is incredibly sweet. He's
very, very... I think he's still as surprised he's doing what he's doing as other people are. He's very grounded. He's a very nice guy. It's been a delight to spend time with him a couple times.
Also, do look him up on Instagram because he has the best dog.
I want that dog so bad.
She is better than Gretchen.
Betty Lou. She is an older bulldog and I think a purebred bulldog. So she's got the full jaw issue going on. But she's like a cubic meter of love.
And she loves Anson more than life itself.
And their Instagram is great. His wife Dara and he also keep bees, which is fantastic. She talks a lot about beekeeping and like photos and everything. Their Instagrams are really, really good value. And it's public now, so we can say they're expecting.
Yes, they are.
They're expecting their first child. So.
And I can only guess how many congratulations on the imminent arrival of Ensign Mount jokes they have received.
Which is why we are not sending anything Star Trek related for baby products.
Yes.
Because I'm sure they'll be drowning in them. But now we could send Batman stuff! Oh! Okay, I'll have to think about that. Baby bat. No, that's a... bat onesies. I don't know. I'll think about it. I will definitely think about it. Do you want to do a monologue, or do you just want to play the game now?
Let's do the opening monologue.
Okay, quick.
Nate's had a hard week.
Yeah, let's do the opening monologue.
Nate will be watching in Valhalla.
Should I move?
Yes,
Incoming,
please.
Okay. Can you see okay? Scoot over a little bit if you need to.
The Age of Empires 4 devs on bees, cheats, and the John Wick of medieval cities. Trebuchets will be capable of launching 95 kilograms of bees over 300 meters.
Of course they will.
With the October 28th release of Age of Empires 4 looming, last year's Gamescom event saw a clutch of new reveals for the medieval strategy extravaganza, including a new trailer, a couple of live interviews, and, my personal favourite, an unexpected short documentary about trebuchets. In just 3 minutes, it told us a surprisingly large amount about history's finest rock chuckers, including the fact that they were sometimes armed with such strange ammunition as diseased livestock, dead bodies, and beehives.
I didn't know about the beehives.
Naturally, then, when I spoke with AOE franchise creative director Adam Isgreen and game director Quinn Duffy following the show, there was one question I needed to ask more than any other. Indeed, so urgent was I to know that I entirely forgot to say hello or introduce myself, instead opening the interview by blurting, "So we'll be able to shoot bees then?" I certainly know how to make an entrance. I'll be quite upset if there aren't bees, I add, just in case this was mistaken for a cheery nod to the Trebuchet film, rather than a brutally serious question. Duffy grimaces amiably. "About that," he replies. "Maybe we should have pulled some punches on the dialogue there, as it also talked about firing dead bodies. And I'm not sure that'll work for a teen-rated game." So no bees then? "In the future," Duffy offers in an attempt to placate me, Well, we could add a cosmetic mod which makes the trebuchet firing ammunition a nest of bees. It's a spirited offer from the Relic Entertainment director, but it is not enough. I don't want animations of bees. I want bees. I want to put my enemies through Sting's greatest... Oh, you motherfucker.
I want to put my enemies through
Sting's greatest hits. On the hour, every hour, from a range of 300 meters. I want... bees. I demand. I mean, these trebuchets launched some nasty stuff, interjects Isgreen, coming to his colleague's rescue. They threw rotten, diseased pig, corpses, heads of enemies. There's some really awful stuff that could get thrown over the walls. He pauses then, looking quizzical, and circles around to a new thought. I mean, beehives wouldn't necessarily break our tea for teen ratings, so, we'll see about that one. Unwilling to take the bit any further, in case these two men might think I am genuinely attempting to bully them into last-minute feature creep, I decided to drop the bee demands, but it turns out it got Isgreen going. It's funny, though, he says. Some of these hands-on history videos we've done, I gotta be honest, we put together the scripts and then we're like, why can't we do this in the game? We should put this in. He brings up the example of, is it Pavis's portable wicker barriers, which were used to shield advancing crossbowmen from defensive fire, and which were included in AoE 4 after coming up during production of the game's embedded documentary material.
Nice.
Pavis's remind me of the Hustle wagons.
Hussite
wagons, recently introduced to AoE 4's older brother, AoE 2, in the Dawn of the Dukes expansion. The wagons act a bit like Pavis's, soaking up incoming arrow fire so weaker units can advance behind them. And I wonder if they were perhaps an outcome of the Pavis mania, which presumably swept through the Age franchise teams earlier in the summer. Not in that case, I don't think, replies Isgreen. But ideas do travel. The Forgotten Empires guys are coming up with these new civs and units for AoE 2, and then they're also helping us with the balancing of AoE 4, so they can do a lot to up our game. Likewise, he explains the Hussite wagon is partially a result of AoE 4's design mentality, rubbing off on designers from Forgotten Empires. I think that's partially our mentality rubbing off and giving the message that it's okay to get a little crazier now. If Dawn of the Dukes was an indicator of the consequent level of craziness to expect from AoE 4, then I have to say, I'm all for it, because it was brilliant. Needless to say, talking about DOTD got me thinking about AoE 2's venerable scenario editor, which I wrote about last week, and wondering if AoE 4 players will receive an equivalent. We've got our own world-building suite that attaches to Essence, AoE 4's game engine, Duffy explains. Obviously, that tool has undergone huge revisions over the years, and now has a lot of stuff specifically for Age of Empires, so our objective is indeed to launch that tool to players probably just post-launch, and it's going through its own beta test right now. Now that things have warmed up again after the initial grilling over insects, I decide to stick with the subject of scenarios, and ask Isgreen and Duffy their favourite moments from AoE 4's campaigns. Isgreen answers immediately. There's a mission in the 100 Years' War campaign that is completely unique. When I read the mission layouts and found out what we were doing with it, I genuinely had to check if it was based on a real event. It feels like something that happened in a video game. Now, I try to bamboozle Isgreen into revealing what historical event he is talking about, and while he is tight-lipped on the whole, he does end up expressing disbelief that they just completely stopped fighting to do this. Was this a medieval version of the infamous World War I Christmas football match? Who knows? Answers on a comment section podcast. Podcast postcard, please.
Comment section podcast. Oh, no. Let's not go there.
Fire that over a wall on a fucking trebuchet.
Yeah, seriously.
For me, it's the Rise of Moscow campaign, Duffy decides. As we've already learned, AoE 4's campaign will follow broader sweeps of history than AoE 2 and AoE 3's biographical tales of famous individuals. But in Duffy's view, the Russian campaign almost returns to the old format, since the city of Moscow is such a compelling character in itself. It's kind of like, I don't know, the John Wick of medieval cities, he says in the single best quote I've been given this year. It just kept getting beat up and coming back and, giving as good as it got. It had the European powers against it in the West and the Moguls and the Golden Horde in the East, and it's definitely got that John Wick vibe to it. Much like the John Wick films, the Rise of Moscow campaign shows the current Russian capital's developments from an isolated river into a superpower, presumably catalyzed by the murder of its dog. I'm well up for it.
Such a Nate line.
We discuss multiplayer briefly, including the fact that AoE 4 will, as expected, have defined seasons for ranked play. They won't be available at launch, sadly, but they'll be following at a later date. We're going to try to time some major balance updates with a new season starting, says Isgreen, since we want to encourage people to kind of have a reset and get ready for a new meta, when the seasons switch. As we stray into the topic of the much-demanded global queue feature for ranked multiplayer, Isgreen takes a moment to mildly lament the high level of expectation on AoE 4's launch feature set, driven by the runaway success of AoE 2's Definitive Edition. It's something that we absolutely want to add, but it's worth remembering if it wasn't in AoE 2 at launch, and it wasn't even in Definitive Edition until later, so we're trying. Given this level of expectation, AoE 4's developers have made the smart decision to launch with a roadmap of what's being added to the game, across the campaigns, the multiplayer modes, and the scenario editor. Oh, Isgreen adds as we're wrapping up. Cheats are coming post-launch as well, since that's kind of a classic age thing. We haven't talked about that before, so there you go. Cheats, often involving ridiculous, overpowered units, have indeed become a beloved feature of the Age of Empires series, and it's pleasing to hear AoE 4's designers already have a short list of candidate units based on running gags from concept art. Maybe the beehives can make it in then, I suggest, a little plaintively, instead of the Cobra car? Maybe they're driving the Cobra car, suggests Duffy, thereby ending the conversation with a statement as powerful as the one it began on. Get in the car, losers. We've got a shitload of stripy lads and we're going to avenge Moscow's dog.
Oh, Nate.
Mr. Crowley, we love you. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you for your bee advocacy.
Get in, losers. We get a bunch of stripy lads.
Oh, love it.
So, that was the opening monologue.
Hi, everybody who's joined us, even for a little short time before you go off to class.
Welcome to the show,
appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us before going up to class, or to shops, or jobs.
Or sleeps. Some people
Hydrate.
do that.
I am mildly dehydrated right now.
Folks, it's been a hot couple of days in the UK unexpectedly, so if you are feeling mildly achy and headachy, please get yourself some water, because as a nation, this country is dehydrated, and y'all need some more. Tea is not hydration. It's a diuretic. It's the opposite. So you need lots and lots of tea.
You know what this calls for?
Should we play a game?
Scarlet Hollow.
All right, so before we get into Scarlet Hollow, brief recap. I'm going to put some links in the chat here. This is the game. We have created a dramatis personae, so a running list of the characters we've encountered and a little bit of background information about them. So if you get lost at any time, hit that and it'll help remind you where we are.
Thanks,
off to Valhalla as sleep what happened. Have a good one, Four Rats. Good night. We also have content warnings for the game. There's a complete list of content warnings at that link in the chat. Warning, those are the contents for the entire game. And this is a branching narrative, so they may touch on subjects we don't. There may also be some spoilers in the full content warning.
For example, there is a choice we did not make at the end of episode 1, which has a content warning attached to it.
Right. But the content warnings in general are common phobias, so we've seen some spiders, death and dying, horror themes, mental health and trauma, violence, children in peril, animals in peril, and swearing. Well, you can just put a content warning for swearing for the entire stream.
Fuck yeah, you can.
Fuck yeah. So, with that, give us a second, and we are going to switch over to Sleepy Hollow.
Also,
Scarlet Hollow.
Two things. Firstly, accent.
Oh god, yes.
In effect.
There will be accents.
And secondly, voiceover protocol for this is that Marguerite does female and female presented characters, and I do the guys and the animals.
So,
or to put it another way, death comes for Dustin.
There will definitely be accents. All right, so give us a second to get set up. Here we go. Alrighty. Hey Kiwi, how's it going? So we're gonna do a quick balancing for audio. How's that coming across? Everybody can hear the game audio, but hear us okay? I may turn the game audio down just a touch. There we go. How's that sounding, everybody? Now, I cheated a little teeny tiny bit ahead, and there will be a recap. So don't worry. We're gonna do a quick story recap here before we launch into episode 2.
Okay.
Everybody comfy? Everybody ready?
Previously on Scarlet Hollow.
Well, Don't, hang on. You're going to blow the dramatic moment here.
Kung Kung?
Not yet!
This is some bullshit.
If you haven't seen it, Resident Alien is an excellent TV series starring the amazing Adam Tudyk. Right. You done now?
Yeah.
Sure? Okay. Alrighty, here we go.
Alrighty.
Here we go.
Da-la-da-la-da.
Episode 2 awaits. Here we go. I'm just moving my drink so I don't get scared and spill it all over everything. We did save our game now. Though we could save it again.
Save it again. Never have too many saves. Medkits, ammunition, or Omnigel.
No, that's fine. Okay, go back. There we go. We've saved our game. All right.
Let's do the thing.
Continue. Would you like to see a recap of episode 1 before you start episode 2? I think this is where we say, previously on Scarlet Hollow.
Previously on Scarlet Hollow. Kung Kung.
Here we go. The long-lost cousin, the bad news, the 26 hours of bus rides with countless late-night stops and seedy depots that felt unsafe even in the middle of the day. You wouldn't normally find yourself traveling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. The funeral of her mother, your aunt, seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay.
Andrea.
I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out.
Afraid! So, has Stella mentioned she's famous?
Oh, Avery, I'm not famous.
Look, if you're not going to go around tooting your own horn, you know I'm going to do it for you.
I'm a YouTuber.
She hunts cryptids.
A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of Stella's flashlight while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness.
Pain, rot, decay. You'll eat those words when I come carrying a mountain lion corpse out of those woods at dawn, and don't talk about the fact I was cockney the first time you encountered me. Come on, you whatever your name is, grab that flashlight and help me line up a good shot.
As the creatures in the tree line grow louder and more numerous, Gretchen violently strains against her harness.
Ruff, ruff, ruff.
You dive forward and scoop Gretchen into your arms just before she manages to wiggle out of her harness. Your eyes fixate on the dark tree line over Duke's shoulder.
Thank you, Duck Pond. God damn it! Stella, keep an eye on her for us. Make sure she does not get into any more trouble.
My grandmother called them ditchlands, and they are a terrible omen, a sign of great suffering and destruction to come. From the comfort of Stella's guest room, the events of the past evening seem like something that happened to someone else, Though you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments, for now, you're safe and you're warm. Tuesday morning awaits. We
didn't try and hand the ditchlings the peanuts, but I think that might be why everyone
stop?
within the 30-mile radius is still alive.
Yes, exactly.
Bulging sack.
Stop!
Cacalente.
I'm just being dramatic.
You learned it from me. You learned it from watching me.
Do I have any other options?
You do not.
We do not. You open your eyes. Look at this.
That's Gretchen.
Look at this adorable little Gretchen statue. Oh, look at this homemade quilt. And the happy little family photo.
Oh, shit has gone fully sideways.
It's
and
so
yeah, isn't
sweet.
the art amazing? I'm sensing interactable object.
I don't think there are interactable objects,
okay.
But the soundtracks for this game are also available.
And
if
we
you
will
don't
put them
think I
in
have
the show
them,
notes.
Yeah. I don't know if those are teeth. I'm going to assume they're coins or bottle caps.
Let's say they're
because
coins.
that's less creepy.
Yeah.
I know. That looks like something I want to explore, right? Well, let's see if we get to. The sun has risen. The birds are singing. You are still alive, and for now, you are safe. That's kind of ominous.
Thanks, game.
Thanks, game. Your gaze wanders across the unfamiliar room to the window and the woods beyond, and you wonder if the monsters are lurking just behind the trees, ready to pounce as soon as you leave the comfort of your new friend's family home. You can't help but remember Duke, slumped against a tree,
Ooh.
pieces of him scattered across the clearing. A knock at the front door. Your morbid thoughts are interrupted by a distinctly unhappy voice filtering through the house and past the closed door of your bedroom. Where the hell is Petra? Oh, hey Tabby. There's a fresh pot of coffee on the table if you want to come in. No, I'm just here to check in on my cousin. Let's make this quick. I have a lot on my plate today. You're barely decent. It might be mildly scandalous if people saw you like this.
Do it. So we have, hey,
Wow.
some people are trying to sleep in here. Saunter out half-clothed, finish getting dressed, and calmly collect yourself or quietly hide under your covers. I think you're an adult, and you want to hide under your covers, but you're going to finish getting dressed and calmly collect yourself.
Very
or just go
tempted.
yeah,
I'm
just
quite tempted, but I
like
don't
what you
feel
see.
like... I think after the events of last evening, sauntering may not be our best approach. No, I'm not throwing the peanuts at her. Finish getting dressed and collect ourselves. Paragons.
the lights of Vava.
You calmly collect yourself while Tabitha fumes outside your door. Are you sure you don't want to visit for a bit? You don't have to run around being the big boss this week of all weeks. You should let yourself. I'm fine. Thanks. Petra, I know you're here. Where the hell are you hiding? I think we can walk out to greet them now. We're not being mean to Petra. It's
Petra
no,
herself
Petra's
is mean,
us.
but her mean, or Tabitha herself is mean, but her
let's not
meanness
be
is a function
mad.
of other
Yeah.
things.
Now sufficiently prepared to greet other civilized humans, you open the door and join them in the living area. Gretchen excitedly looks at you and wiggles her tail. That's Alistair trying to wiggle his tail.
I simply must say what joy it is to see that you are finally up. I do hope you're well rested, and that you don't mind our most unfortunate guest.
Look at her bed. It says princess. Look at all the little pictures and oh my gosh. What the
She's the best dog. She's the best dog.
Best of dogs. Okay. Morning. How'd you sleep? What exactly did the two of you get up to last night? We went up to the woods to film a video. No, not that part.
Oh, you...
The cops called this morning and told me all about that. They did? What'd they say? Did they find Duke? They didn't find a body, if that's what you're asking, but apparently he never went home last night. And they had quite a few questions about you, Petra. Ugh. Don't worry. I told them you were an upstanding citizen. You should remember that kindness the next time you think about blowing me off to spend the night with a stranger.
That's one.
What do you mean?
She is simultaneously doing some pretty common abusive gaslighting stuff.
Yeah.
And she's walking right up to implying they spent the night together.
Yeah, watch yourself, Tabitha. Hey, don't be so hard on Petra. I asked her to crash here. And look, I don't care what the cops think, Tabby. There's something horrible out in those woods. And I don't think anyone in this room wanted Petra walking up that mountain alone last night. Stella, would you mind giving me a moment alone with my cousin? And while you're at it, please stop calling me Tabby. We're not in high school anymore. Yeah. All right.
You're not going to let her treat my dearest Stella like that, are you, Petra?
Yeah.
I quite like Stella stays. Or isn't this Stella's house?
Well, the reason I don't want to say the Stella's house thing is that implies that if we were at Tabby's house, she could push us around. Yeah. I'd rather just be much more unequivocal about there's no reason. Yeah. Stella stays. Come on, Tabby. No berating guests in the Richmond household. Whatever. I don't really care if you're here for this. You've been in town for less than a day, and my stress is already through the roof. I mean, I get it. Stella got you all worked up, and you were too scared to walk home. Sure, fine, whatever. That checks out. But I don't care if those woods are chock full of ghouls and ghosties. You had me worried sick. Now that Tabitha does have a point about, because we didn't answer the phone and we didn't call her back. From now on, you're back at the estate by bedtime. No more impromptu sleepovers.
That ain't gonna work.
Excuse me, am I 12? Yeah, exactly. You're not my boss. You can't run off as soon as I get here and hold me to a different standard. Yeah.
Yep.
I like that one because it's we're not going to tit for tat this. You ran off as soon as I got here. Don't expect me to respect your time if you can't respect mine. There's a difference between my duties and your impulses, Petra. Don't do anything reckless while I'm at work. I'll see you back at this estate. I'll see you back at the estate tonight.
I'll see you.
Wait, Tabby. Let me know if you're free sometime, okay? You're relentless. We'll see, but don't get your hopes up. Out! Hey, you good? Sorry about Tabby. She totally blindsided me. Okay.
I think I'm good, but how are you? That was a little tense. It's
yeah.
pretty good.
I'm kind of tempted by that one, but I think this one's
It makes
a
the
little
point,
more
but it doesn't
honest.
make it combatively.
Okay, now I can look at the rest of the house too. Hold
Yeah.
on. There's blankie and shoes
And Gretchen's
more
vast doggo bed.
doggy worship. Okay. I'm good, but how are you? That was a little tense. I think we're in the same boat. I probably should have known Tabby would have been stressed about you spending the night here, but I haven't seen her in a while. I didn't think she'd actually come all the way down here. It sucks that this was probably the longest interaction I've had with her since high school. Anyway, sorry for the rude awakening. I've been up for a little while, but was hoping to let you get a little extra sleep. But you're up now, and we got a full day ahead of us if we're gonna get to the bottom of this. Yeah, you notice the knives in the butcher's block too. I'm like, okay.
A full day ahead of us? That sounds like it's walking time to me.
Yeah, let's explore. Wait, hold up. Why are you so chipper? You shouldn't be okay right now. You don't have to be okay right now. I guess I'm just pretty good at compartmentalizing things. Oh, God, honey. Oh, boy. What happened out in the woods last night was horrific, but right now we have something important to focus on. Gretchen's like, forget it, she's gonna be here forever. Yes, I'm with you, Ocean. We have hip deep in rivers in Egypt going on right now. I'll have time to process what happened to Duke when we get to the bottom of things.
Oh, yeah, we are, aren't we?
Oh, sweetie.
Oh, Stella.
Yeah, yes, we're definitely... Stella, get comfortable. You shouldn't just bury your feelings like that. What happened to Duke last night would mess with anyone. I get that, but I'm fine, really. At least for now. I can process this in my own time. Okay, so now... Why don't we just skip town and ride things out? Remain silent. Do we have to look into... Alright, boss, what's the game plan? Or I want to ask the other miners about Wayne.
Alright, boss, what's the game plan? It feels like a tie-off to me, so maybe do the miners.
I know. I really do love all the different facial expressions that come in as well, which I think is great. And the body postures. It's a good way of changing the, like, communication of the scene without having to draw the entire background all over again.
Gretchen, I see the humans are conversing about their emotions again. Our perambulation will be regrettably delayed.
Do we want to ask the other miners? I think we should ask her what the game plan is.
All right.
I think if she's clinging to control as a way of giving herself emotional distance for the short term, I think I'm willing to go along with it. Okay. Because Wayne was creepy. I don't want to go looking for Wayne. More games should do the Ace Attorney route. I haven't played the Ace Attorney games yet. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Or Nina Aquila Legal.
Or Nina Aquila Legal. There are not enough hours in the day. It's not fair. Okay. All right, boss. What's the game plan?
Walkies.
Huh?
Walkies.
First things first. I was planning on swinging by the library. Kanika's got a head start on us. It looks like she's already there. Oh, that reminds me. Let's set up a group chat. What's your number?
I love 21st century video games.
You and Sella exchange numbers. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. a text message from Stella to you and Kanika. It reads, "Group chat!" Hopefully we can find out more about Ditchlands from some of the older local books there. I've also got a couple of threads cooking up on my cryptid forums, but who knows if that'll pan out. Anyway, daylight's a burning, so let's roll out as soon as you finish getting dressed.
Walk now. Walk now.
I like explore. Explore options mean we're not advancing into the plot. Can I eat first? Don't worry about it. I packed all sorts of snacks for the day, and Oscar totally won't mind if we eat it at the library.
I trust her snacks. Her snack
I
game
trust
is
her
tight.
snacks. Her snack game was pretty tight last night, so we're all good. Gretchen's like,
Walkies now. Walkies now.
Okay, can I also point out something we've all missed in the composition of this room that I'm slightly concerned about? I'm trying to style it out as cottagecore, but if we come back to this, I was right. Please notice the locked chest
Yeah.
right here in the living room.
Maybe she just really has some very limited edition Blu-rays.
Let's just hope she's keeping things out of reach of Gretchen, right?
All right, Stella. Let's ditch the murdering.
Let's just leave the large coffin-shaped box right there, shall we? All right, let's go. Get dressed and head into town. The walk to town was short. Stella's house is barely a stone's throw from what remains of Scarlet Hollow's once bustling main street. You shudder as you stare down the thoroughfare, both from the chill in the morning air, and she doesn't even have a coat on, and the all-too-present memories of everything you witnessed last night.
I love that bloody dog.
I know you do, honey. I know you do. You see that building labeled Town Hall? That's actually the library. Well, it's also the Town Hall, but that's just a smell... That's just a small office upstairs nowadays. I guess this town's not what it used to be. That and our mayor's really into going on walks. Is Gretchen the mayor?
Oh, God.
Oh, God, I really
She
hope
could
Gretchen's
be
the mayor. I think there's actually going to be a meet and greet later this week. Could be just the pick-me-up we need, what with everything that's been going on.
Stella may be fond of him, but I certainly didn't vote for that beast.
Yeah, totally. We've totally got walk and talks going on. Yes! Ooh, here we go. Keen eye and talk to animals? Ooh! All right. This will be fun. Now wait just a second, you think to yourself. Really likes going on walks? Gretchen calling her a beast? There's no way. He is human, right?
Oh, hey.
Crap.
Oh, God.
Dustin's the mayor, isn't he? It's Dustin.
Vote Dustin for death.
Oh my God.
Morning, Stella. And same to you, Petra.
Speak of the devil. We were just talking about you.
Coming from Stella's, huh? You all have a slumber party?
Oh, sorry, y'all, but I'm actually in a bit of a rush this morning. I really can't stop to chat.
She likes us.
It'll take me a bit to set up, so if you want to catch up with folks or grab something at the diner, you can meet me at the library when you're done. I'm going to turn the volume down just a touch because we've got a bit melodic there. Alrighty. So now we have to make a choice.
Do we want to talk to Avery and Stella, or do we want to go with the world's best dog and our sort of girlfriend?
What did they say? They said they were just talking about us?
Yes, that might be worth investigating.
I don't want to leave Stella alone in the library, though.
Let's go to the library.
Let's go to the library.
Do you want to save at this
Let's
point?
save! Indecision is my friend. Indecision means I can change my mind later. Okay. Return. I've saved. Right, so we're going to go with Stella. So, Gesture that you'll catch up with Avery and Sybil.
Yeah.
I know, there is an awful lot of great hair in this game. I'm very jealous. You gesture towards Avery and Sybil and give Stella a thumbs up. Cool, see you soon. I think we made the wrong choice.
We did. Whoa, she always has time to chat. Do you want to go back to the save or not?
No. Let's
Okay.
lie with the consequences of our decisions.
She feeling okay?
Oh, Stella and Petra got into a bit of trouble last night. That's all.
You can't just drop something like that and leave me hanging.
Okay, so Avery's all about gossip.
Spill the tea, lady. What happened, Petra?
Oh.
I'm inclined to do either I'm traumatized and not ready to talk about it, or just the whole fucking truth.
I don't see why I would hide anything. It's
Yeah.
a small town. And they're gonna find out anyway. Ugh. Right? Avery is the server at a small town diner. They know everything, or they will learn everything. They probably poured the coffee for the cops the first thing this morning. They're already gonna know anyway. Stella and I went into the woods to try and find a skunk ape, but we ran into something way worse. Actual monsters. Sybil said that they're called ditchlings, but whatever they are, they killed Duke and have been mutilating the local wildlife.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Slow down. Duke's dead?
Yo, Joe. Sorry.
Stabbed in the chest with a snake.
It's true, I'm afraid.
That's awful. Has anyone told Bo?
Yeah. He's taken it as well as you can imagine. I'll be going up to check in on him today, the poor lad.
I can't believe you had to see that, Petra. Tell you what, I'm on break for the next half hour. How about you swing by the diner, Winnie can fix you some of Sybil's new blend, try and calm your nerves.
It's chaga and lemon balm. It's always helped me on bad days.
Okay, not for nothing, but the badass, super intelligent lady quietly winking at people is a thing I'm going to see in 40 years every time I look at you. You realize that?
I adore you.
And if you need to talk about what happened, I'm all ears. Anyways, it's up to you. See you around, Petra. See you, Sybil.
Take care now, Avery. I'd better get back to it myself. I'm glad I was able to catch you this morning, if only to see how you were holding up.
Oh, you know things.
She absolutely knows
You know
things.
things, lady.
Please don't hesitate to stop by if I can be of any help. Wow, okay, so...
I like that we are always offered the Jay meets God moment at the end of Dogma. What the fuck just happened? Where the fuck is that guy's head? Question line.
Yes, exactly. That would be a good playthrough.
Yes. What?
All right. This is a very interesting question.
Maybe Duke was a massive dick. It's also not
I think
strictly
I know
true.
what the answer to this question is going to be, is that it's a town that's accustomed to tragedy, so...
It's also not strictly true. Every mention of Bo has emphasized how terribly he's taking what I presume is the murder of his father.
Yeah. Or the death, anyway. Should we ask her if she knows anything else about ditchlings?
Yes.
Yeah, I think let's try that. Wait, do you know anything else about ditchlings? I know you say you didn't know much beyond those stories, but I'm afraid that's still true, but I'm sure that you and Stella have what it takes to get to the bottom of things. I'm so sorry to cut our conversation short, dear, but I've got other things that need tending to.
Yeah, I'll bet you do.
Stay safe, and God bless. Stella said you had some time to kill before she finished setting up. You probably have a bit of time before you're needed at the library. Ooh.
Choices.
Exploration options. All right, so we can go talk to Avery, and by talk I mean possibly flirt.
Well, it is Avery. They are hot.
We haven't been to the general store yet, but I think the character also has money troubles, and we don't need to buy anything, so maybe not.
Let me get some food.
Do I ever?
I need a refill, so I'm going to step out for a moment.
Well, I was just going to inform the chat. Keep in mind, we've been streaming for about an hour now, so if you've been with us the whole time and you haven't moved around since then...
Move around.
Move around.
Move around.
You've got water?
Yeah, I
You've
need a
got tea?
refill.
All right, fine. That sounds good. Do you want to take a break, or you... Should we stop here? Is this a good place to stop?
I don't think we should stop here. I think I need to get a little bit of a water refill and maybe an apple, and then we'll continue.
All right, fine. All right, chat. So what are we thinking? I'm personally thinking that we should go to the diner, because I don't think we need anything from... You just did the Picard maneuver. That was adorable.
Thank you.
I think Bo is Duke's son, which is...
Awkward.
Well... I won't say stereotypical, but it's a common assumption I can say. It sounds like son, yeah. I think diner is probably our best bet, but I think I'm going to pause here and wait for Alistair. And I'm going to drink my tea. Y'all should drink your tea too. Is Dustin the mayor? It's probably a dog, isn't it? It's beast, so it's something that Gretchen doesn't get along. Is it Frou Frou? No. They didn't give a gender. It could be Frou Frou the cat. That would be. But it's absolutely an animal, isn't it? That's adorable. It's some squirrel. Squirrel! We'll see where that is. That would be hilarious. I guess we could pause for a minute and I can show you what the boy's been up to. I forgot to look it up. But here's our yeasty lad this evening. It's too hot for clothes, and I've realized that most of Chungus's wardrobe is very autumnal or wintry. So I just... He's streaking. How dare you, Chungus? So I put him in the robe from the Christmas Tale, like it's a dressing gown that he's just not bothered wearing. Chungus is a proud parent, if you've missed it. And now that I don't think we have either Wendy or Forrest currently in the channel. So hello to Valhalla. But yes, Chungus is now a parent and has two siblings whose names I have to look up. Yes, I put them in my phone because that's what's life like. Because I have to remember their birthdays. Hang on a second. It's okay. So we have Sif Chunginson, and I think it's a. I know it starts with an A. Maybe it's an A-E. Ager, Chungus' daughter. And they were both born on the 28th of August, which is the day when Forrest and Wendy came to hang out with us. And they sent me amazing photos of pink and blue Tupperware containers. Chungus is a very proud parent. Are you ready to go to the diner? All right, let's go to the diner. All right, folks, we're going to the diner. You head towards the diner. The diner is a little quiet today, but the air is still heavy with the tantalizing smell of breakfast. Okay. Two things I immediately notice.
Is one of them method Aragorn in the corner?
One, this gentleman is in the same place, in the same booth that he was the last time we were in the diner. Two, the stripes on this man's jacket match the stripes on the jacket of the person who said, "Welcome home in the dark, all creepy," last night.
So they're minors.
So whoever that was probably a minor. M-I-N-E-R, not O-R. But yes, Compost Witch, God, I hope we can get biscuits.
It's time for biscuit.
It's time for biscuit. Let's see what we can do. Oh, look. Warn the patrons of
You're next.
the danger.
You're all next. Go
yes,
full
when
invasion
does
of
that
body snatchers.
ever work? When has that ever,
One time.
name it.
For 1955 edition of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where the studio hated the original ending so much, which was Dr. Miles Bennell running down a line of cars out on the outskirts of LA screaming, "You're next! You're next!" and finally doing it to the camera. That they added a scene with him talking to the FBI and them literally going, "So what you're saying is that vegetable aliens have taken over your town?" "Yes." "Cool. Let's go arrest them."
That's even worse.
Anyway.
I don't think we should stand and deliver in the diner, especially since we haven't had any caffeine yet this morning.
Yeah, I mean, the
and they're
speech
not
just
going
wouldn't
to
land.
believe us anyway.
Talk to Avery.
Let's talk to Avery, shall we? They look delightful. You slide into the booth across from Avery. Achievement unlocked. Coffee date. Ooh.
I didn't notice Avery's lip stud before. That's very cool.
Neither did I. They also have excellent taste in shirts.
Hey there, stranger.
Before you can exchange words, Winnie sidles up, a fresh mug of tea in hand. Heard you might need this. The answer to 29 down is oink, by the way.
What? But the clue is pen sound. How is that a sound a pen makes? Wait. Pen, like... Pig... Pen. Are you kidding me? How was I supposed to guess that?
I don't know why you even bother with those things. They're just gonna frustrate you.
It's just something to do to fill the time, but maybe I should switch to Sudoku.
Winnie leaves Avery contemplating daily newspaper puzzles, returning to her seat behind the counter.
Looks like she's got a nice juicy novel back there.
Oh, nice.
She was reading when we came in.
I missed that.
So, what the hell happened last night? You can tell me. I won't judge.
Notice how she sidles a little bit closer.
Don't mind me, y'all. I'm just reading.
I'm trying to read. I can't tell, but it certainly looks like it's attempting to evoke a romance novel cover.
Goddess Ripper.
Yes. It sure looks like it, because this pose and profile looks very kissy, and I think I see two figures on the cover here.
Oh, Lord Sexy Face. Yes, Lady Sexy Face. You know.
Really?
Let's move on. Come on now.
Lord and Lady Sexy Face. Okay, try your tea. What if you don't believe me? Flirt. Tell Avery about last night. Why don't we just talk?
Given that we have gone, a fella died.
Let's start with our tea, all right? I haven't had any caffeine this morning, and there was a death last night. Let's be real, yo.
We need some hash browns or someone's getting
You
ass kicked.
hesitantly take a sip of your tea. It tastes like you're drinking mold that someone tried to unsuccessfully spruce up with lemon balm.
Oh dear.
I do too, Hunter. It's one of the things I really like about the game. In case you missed it, this is flirtatious. One of my biggest frustrations with other games is like, well, I better save before every conversation in case I get things wrong.
Take me, Thane. Take me now.
Oh god, it's so bad.
Politely put the tea down and never pick it back up.
What the hell is in this tea? Politely put it down. It tastes healthy. Take another sip.
Oh, health.
Oh,
That sounds you can hear is germs dying.
I think we'll politely put the tea down and never pick it back up. How about that? Sound good?
Yes.
You politely put the tea back down, never intending to pick it back up, but nobody needs to know that.
I probably should have warned you about the tea. Chaga does not mess around. It's a fungus harvested from local birch trees. It's supposed to be super healthy for you, and it sure tastes like it. It's a challenging drink.
Explore. Flirt. Okay.
I think just give him the info dump, my dude.
No. Always go with an explore option first.
Even if it's a flirty explore option.
Well, we're not going to do the flirty explore
Okay,
option just yet, but what if you don't believe me? I could tell you about last night, but what if you don't believe me? I know, because I should have dressed Chunkus up in his mushroom costume.
I'm not here to judge. I'm here to listen.
See, now we're running out of options. I think we're just going to tell him. They are an actually very sweet person, but I don't know. Should we flirt?
I know, I think
I'm not feeling like flirting on the morning after a death.
Right?
Yeah, kind of seems out of... Let's tell Avery about last night. You spill the beans. Glad to have someone to talk to about the horrors you've witnessed.
Wow, that is some heavy stuff. No wonder Stella seemed distant. Monsters in the woods. I may not have lived here long, but I have never heard of anything like that happening around these parts. Can't say I like the thought of it. Now that I think about it, when the cops came in for their morning coffee, they mentioned something about going out to the woods to look for someone.
She's looking at us.
And she's like, hello. It must have been Duke. They seem so disconnected from it. I figured it couldn't be very serious, but wow. Wow.
Ooh, that's a heck of a choice.
That's bitchy and probably accurate. You have no evidence for the cops being in on it.
Yeah. This is defensive. I don't even want to say they've seen much worse. I think let's just stay silent.
Yeah.
You remain silent.
I'm not going to lie. The worst I've seen them have to deal with a property dispute.
See?
I'd be surprised if the cops here actually knew what to do in a real emergency.
The tolerable tea removes your option to default to sipping tea. Drat.
Transplant is very pejorative.
It's a generic term for someone who was not born here.
Yeah.
I hadn't pegged you as a transplant. Where are you from?
I moved here from Charlotte, gosh, 3 years ago now? Maybe a little more. I've lost track.
Yeah, silence is a very powerful tool.
Aunt Winnie offered me a place to stay and a job, and, well, who was I to pass up on that kind of generosity? To be honest, it still feels like I just moved in. Practically everyone apart from the Cole folks grew up in this town, so it's like I am the perpetual new kid. Don't get me wrong, folks here are plenty polite and friendly. But there is a shared history, and I will never be part of it.
Ooh,
That's a good one.
I like this one. Maybe you're more at home here than you think. Stella really talked up your party yesterday. I don't think she'd have done that if she didn't think you were really part of the town. It could be that you're getting in your head about fitting in.
Hey, thanks. I hadn't actually thought about it like that.
I don't think we should ask them why they left Charlotte.
It is a little
That's
bit.
kind of
That's cool. That's cool.
So-
Why did you kill her?
So, quick recap for JJ. At the top of the game, you get to pick 2 characteristics of, I think there are 10 options. Keen eye is one of the ones that we picked, and talking to animals is the other one we picked. So every once in a while, there will be keen eye or talks to animals options that we're allowed to pick. Dialogue options that we get. Our actions, really. So yes, we picked keen eyes. So we're observant and we can talk to animals. Learn their languages. Okay. Let's ask if they regret moving here. Do you regret moving here? I don't think I have... Oh, this is you.
I don't think I have the choice to have second thoughts. I'm not going anywhere without Aunt Winnie. There's no way she's leaving this place.
Interesting.
We may be at Say Nothing. I'll let you know if you happen across any leads.
I kind of feel like happen against any leads. We're on the case, but I hardly know where to start. Let me know if you hear anything.
Definitely. Oh man, looks like my shift's done. Hopefully the child has had a chance to start working its magic. The diner is where everyone comes to gossip, so I hear a lot about what goes on around here. I'll let you know if anyone mentions those monsters or anything strange or unusual.
Avery slips out of the booth, giving a friendly half wave before disappearing into the back. You leave the diner.
Unbreakfasted.
Unbreakfasted, I will note. Ready to continue your day. This might be a very good place to call it a break, because we can either go by the general store next or head to the library.
I think that's a good call.
I think we're going to call it here, folks. So we are going to save the game. Save. And we're going to step away and take just a quick break, probably just a couple minutes.
And then we'll come back with some shenanigans.
We will come back with some shenanigans. That's right. All right, everybody. Have a quick break, and we'll see you shortly.
You know, sometimes when you're in the middle of nowhere hunting monsters, you just need a sugary treat. We choose Mother Fudger.
What are you doing?
I'm doing a bit. Constructed by our friend Nadine, an actual cookie wizard in the heart of rural Nottingham, Mother Fudger produces chocolates, called Cruffles, tray bakes, which are amazing, and now new style cookies.
Look at these things.
So, if you've
This is
been
like a third of the cookie. That's huge.
So if you've been staying with a lady who might be your girlfriend, but for some mystifying reason has decided not to feed you breakfast, nor has the local diner, you need Mother Fudger.
She didn't pay us to do these. We just spend way too much on buying her amazing cookies every
The lawyer speaks the truth.
Give me the jar. Look at these. Look at these adorable little pumpkin cookies. Adorable pumpkin spice cookies. They are so good. And I eat so many of them. And I love them very much. Cookie shenanigans. That is a raspberry bakewell tart. It's so good. We are very fond of Nadine and Nadine's incredible tasty work. It's very good. Pumpkin spice cookies are amazing. It's turned into an ad. I know. It wasn't meant to be. But we are hugely fond of Nadine's work. And it is the season of the bestest type of snack, which is the pumpkin spice pack, which does not contain any pumpkin. Pumpkin spice is like Christmas spice. It is a blend. It's like curry. It is a blend of spices that goes well with pumpkin. Think Christmas spice, Brits, but add much more ginger. So, spicy spice. I don't know. Yeah, the raspberry bakewells are freaking amazing. That's like our third since they've come out a couple months ago. Nadine is very generous and has been really sweet to let me order things early and off menu, which I love. Yes, okay, so pumpkin spice is lots of ginger, cinnamon, clove, nutmeg. Sometimes you can substitute allspice instead of clove if clove is too much on the top, but the ginger's the really key one as far as I'm concerned. It's what makes it that bright orange color is the combination of cinnamon and ginger. There isn't any actual Christmas and Christmas spice either, I know. Next, I'll tell you Santa's not a real person. It's just your parents.
He's a network.
Who's a really?
Yeah. You've seen that episode of The Librarians.
Oh, I know. Oh, I love The Librarians so much. So yeah, so if you taste the clove a lot, don't use clove, use allspice instead, which has a lot of clove overtone, but doesn't have the oily astringentness of clove. This has been your cookie-related tangent as you get ready for shenanigans. All right, so tell them what we're doing with shenanigans now.
We are going to take you on a journey. We're going to take you on a journey to the actual Scottish island of St Kilda. This is for two reasons. Firstly, it's a really interesting place. And secondly, because the show, which we are both in, about horrific goings-on St Kilda.
I am and also, you are one of the 6 stars. I helped!
Is crowdfunding now, and has successfully crowdfunded
20 hours. Took them 20 hours to hit their goal, which is freaking amazing.
So you're going to get a show, we're going to get paid, it's going to be great. Also, could you do me a favour?
Yes,
Can
my
you pull
love.
up the Meteor City Indiegogo and
I
see if
will
that's
do that.
still active?
I'm sure it is, but give me a second. I'm going to put the St. Kilda thing. Here's a St. Kilda Kickstarter coming your way in the chat. And I will look up Meteor City while Alistair fails.
Some brief context regarding Meteor City. It's a fantastic show
We'll talk more about St. Kilda, don't worry.
about a young woman returning home to her home city, which has been largely destroyed by a meteorite impact and which still continues to struggle onwards. It's mysterious, it's character-driven, it is amazing. And they had someone, I think, cancel a pledge a couple of days ago and send them a message which was literally Why do you need so much money?
Folks, they're asking for £5,000. St. Kilda's base goal was more than that. And this is an entirely BIPOC creator project.
It is a great show. It is currently at £4,082.
Of its £5,082 goal.
And it has 33 hours left. So I know we don't do this often, and I'm always very cognizant when we do of operating from a position of privilege where I'm like, yes, go forth and spend your money on these art things. Food and shelter are more important.
Needs first, always.
But if you do have the capacity, please help these folks out, and please help St. Kilda out.
Yeah,
thank you.
Exactly.
Now, the reason why we're doing St. Kilda stuff is to start to introduce you to the island in time for the show, when nothing bad ever happens.
You gonna tell them a little bit about the show? And
the show stars Alan Bergen from the Amelia Project as Lockie, a new arrival.
New arrival on the
island. Who, like everybody else on St. Kilda, has come to have his sins washed away. He finds himself immediately absorbed by the community, in some good ways and some very bad ones. Matthias, played by Mr. Ben Meredith himself, hates him on sight. But others very quickly bond with him. Could you pull up a cast list for me?
I'm trying to do that right now, but every time I look for St. Kilda, it wants to give me the island or the football club. Sorry, I'm vamping here.
All good.
OMG. Okay, I'm just going to go to Twitter. It's going to be easier. And then we'll go from there. Vamp! Celestial navigation.
Other cast members have come in from all kinds of other shows. Eric Stevenson, who is fucking amazing and does a bunch of stuff for no sleep, is in there as the world's coolest old lady. Maeve, who has an incredible name and who I cannot even pretend to pronounce it correctly for her surname, from the Siltverses, is in there as one of the leaders of the island. Dean and Shogo are two just brilliant voice actors who've never been in my space before, but they play what could best be described as the island's two amiable thugs.
Broadchurch meets the Wicker Man meets Hot Fuzz, says Man on the Street.
Yep.
This show made me want to never visit a remote Scottish island, not worth the risk to my soul. Local librarian. I do not endorse this radio show in any way, shape, or form. It is the work of the devil. That said, it does have very high production values. The Reverend.
I can't stop dreaming about it. How do I stop dreaming about it?
Confection salesman. The Secret of St. Kilda is the unbelievable true story of how a ragtag group with bad taste can create high art.
That's legit.
That's the dog marker.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's an amazing cast of people. It's being produced by Mick and Patty from Haggis and Dragons.
Yep, it is their first time, and good grief are they knocking it out of the park.
We're having a fantastic time with it. It's really, really good. Yes, oh my gosh, we could spend a whole nother hour talking about the glory that is Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries. But we'll have to... different island. It has to get in line. It's a bigger island. It has to wait. Oh, Jack. Anyway.
Jack, let me love you.
Oh! That show made me literally throw a pillow at the television once. It was... Anyway. So, who are you?
I am just a narrator.
Humble narrator.
My job is to set the scene, to introduce you to the world, to walk you through the moments of triumph and terrible, clammy-fisted horror that these tiny people on this tiny island in the middle of nowhere are all going to experience.
And with that, we have some Tumblr-driven shenanigans for you.
Top tips for sailing around St. Kilda. Check the weather. The Hebrides are known for their difficult straits, clear skies, and can significantly ease your journey. Keep an eye on the tide. You don't want to end up stranded somewhere you don't plan to stay. If you see something dark lurking beneath the boat, don't worry about it. It's probably just a rock formation on the seabed. No, it's definitely not moving. In the event of distant, ominous chanting, please remember to cover your ears. Bring plenty of rope. You never know when it's going to come in handy to tether your belongings to the dock or rescue someone when they are claimed by the old gods. If you're thinking of visiting St. Kilda, don't. You may not like what you find there. Completely sound advice that's all been confirmed by experts. And then we have fun fact. St Kilda is 40 miles away from the nearest land. The average scream travels 3/4 of a mile under the right conditions, so on St Kilda you are 39 1/4 miles away, too far away to call for help if you need it. Isn't that neat? Biosecurity is incredibly important on St Kilda. This means incoming vessels need to be checked for anyone, anything that could be a potential risk to island life. Sorry about that. It's definitely not meant to say anything. As well as raising livestock on their crofts, St Kildans were also known to, St Kildans, lovely turn of phrase, were also known to keep cats and dogs in abundance. Hens were introduced to the island in the 1800s after the minister decided to keep them. Mice were plentiful, though St Kilda was reportedly devoid of rats. Maybe they were just looking for the wrong kind. A group of rats, by the way, is called a mischief. There is plenty of that on St Kilda. Fun fact, St Kilda is home to many structures known as Chileans. Chileans or... Kalians. I'll go with Kalians. Kalians, or stone storage huts. These are a great place to shelter if you're camping in the Scottish Highlands or running away from your troubled past. Another word for a cleat is a bothy. Aren't they cute? Now, finally, the St Kildans were once gifted a boat by the South, and immediately took it apart and burned it as firewood. When asked why, they said it was not suited to their purpose, and that by burning it they had given their southern friends an opportunity to make them a better one. That seems like a reasonable response.
It's going to be a great show.
It's a fun show, folks.
It's going to be a very, very fun show. And we're all having a great deal of fun with the nonsense and the memes that are being created.
The memes.
The memes. Lots of memes. Part of the Kickstarter is there will be a Discord. So it might be worth it to join. You can find just about anything you want to know at The Secret of St. Kilda.
Which, even if I wasn't part of the team, would be very impressive as a website.
It is. It's quite lovely. That will get you anywhere you want to go, including TikTok, Facebook, Tumblr, Kickstarter, the website and Instagram. And like we said, the Kickstarter is funding now. Right now, they're working on their £8,000 stretch goal, which
is a pay rise for staff.
Which is the pay rise for the actors. Hooray! Which would be lovely. I don't know what podcatchers it will be on, but probably all of them, to be honest. And I think early access is one of the rewards for funding the Kickstarter. So it will probably be what's becoming quite standard now, which is an episode will drop a day or two early for Patreons or Kickstarter supporters, and then it will drop into a main feed a day or two later.
Pay really close attention to this cast, because quite genuinely there's not a single bad performer in there. They are all really phenomenal.
It's been really, really fun to sit and listen in on some of the table reads as well. It's been great.
And Sasha's in there as well.
Yeah, Sasha and Sarah Golding and lots of people that you would recognize and lots of people you don't recognize, which is like the best thing in the world. Those are our shenanigans. And that was our show. Yeah. You can find us this Friday when our Hugo and BFA Award nominated newsletter, The Full Lid, goes live at 5 p.m. to just over 1,000 email inboxes. Then this Sunday we will continue, I think. Yes. With
Sexy Space Idiots.
More Sexy Space Idiots in their van. They've called home. Mama's read them the riot act and they've said, screw you, we're in love. And then they had a fight. And then they got over that. And now we found something new and big and scary to go explore.
There is literally a scary door. It's great.
There's a big, giant, scary door.
And then we'll be back here next Wednesday for, I think, Notionally.
Yep. More
of Skull Hollow.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been Alistair.
I've been Marguerite.
And this has been fun.
We'll
Thanks, folks.
See you next time, everybody. Have a good night.